That's Lauren Hart, whose dad, Gene Hart, was the voice of the Flyers when they won the Stanley Cup under Fred Shero back in the mid-'70s. Let's take a look now at our Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, it's got to be the two centers, Crosby and Giroux. Who's going to win that battle? Malkin's line. He's missing James Neal, and you got to control your emotions. Both teams have great special teams, and Marc-Andre Fleury gets the nod.
He is our Kia starting goaltender today, and that's because he's been very successful against the Flyers here in Philadelphia particularly. And our Hyundai starting goaltender is Steve Mason, 26, 16, and 6. Not playing quite as well since the Olympic break as he was playing before that. The Pittsburgh Penguins also got late news, or we did, that Chris Kunitz is also scratched today. So Evgeny Malkin will be without his number one right winger. Sidney Crosby will be without his number one left winger, in addition to his right winger, who's been out for a while, Pascal Dupuis. And Taylor Pyatt will play on the left wing today with Sidney Crosby and Lee Stempniak on the right wing. For the Philadelphia Flyers, Sean Couturier, Steve Downey, and Matt Reed up front. Timo Timonen and Braden Coburn on defense. The Penguins have Olli Maatta paired up with Brooks Orpik behind the Crosby line. The referees today, Francois Saint-Laurent and Frederic Lecuyer, and Mark Shuchek and Scott Driscoll are the linesmen. And the puck out of play right away here, Bob.
Right off the face-off. Jason Megna also in the lineup for the Pittsburgh Penguins here this afternoon. And the cheers have started after they honored Fred Shero. Ray Shero in attendance here today. Great stuff.
Yep, the statue, 8 foot tall, 1,300-pound statue, and there's Craig Berube. I don't think they'll ever build a statue to him, but I'll tell you this, he's doing a darn good job as the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, he played 7 years for the Flyers, well over 1,000 penalty minutes just as a Flyer. Rough and tumble, Craig Berube wants his team to control their emotions today.
That would be a good cue for the Penguins as well. As the puck comes up the near wing, it squirts free to Reed. Matt Reed shoots it into his block. And Lee Stempniak digging it off the near wall, trying to get it out. Reed forces it back into the corner. Olli Maatta there slips the check of Couturier, and Sidney Crosby moves it right in front of his own net off the stick of Orpik. Up the wing, and Taylor Pyatt couldn't catch up with it. Reed back to the net. Couturier there. Fleury makes the save. He couldn't cover the rebound. But fortunately, Brooks Orpik was there to sweep it out of danger, and now Stempniak sends it up into the Flyers zone, and will be an icing call against the Penguins.
Well, you got to win the battles along the wall, and that's where it's going to be tough. Sidney Crosby's got a couple of new line mates. Stempniak on the right, Pyatt on the left. The puck came up the right wing wall. It didn't get out. It came up the left wing wall. It didn't get out. So you watch for those pinching defense of the Philadelphia Flyers to keep pucks in here today.
Claude Giroux's unit is on now. He pushes the puck right to the glove of Fleury here. Off the faceoff, Giroux with Voracek and Hartnell. And Claude Giroux, Bobby said it in the open, 45 points since December 11th. His same exact total as Sidney Crosby to lead the NHL. So that's how well he's played since getting off to a terrible start. He went 15 games without scoring a goal at the beginning of the season.
Line matching. Penguins put on Sutter, Glass, Gotch. The Flyers took off Claude Giroux. The Penguins want Sutter on Giroux.
And now Simmons shoots the puck short side. Fleury made the save. Braden Shen trying to get to the rebound, as is Matt Niskanen, who one-hands it up the near boards, and the Penguins able to get it to center. Taken there by Luke Shen, and he dumps it into the Penguin zone. Up the near wall, it's taken there by Marcel Gotch, who feeds it along for Sutter. Sutter has Tanner Glass going to the net, and he went there looking for the rebound, but Luke Shen boxed out on him nicely after Mason made the save on Sutter. Sutter's got it again. Out to Scuderi, and he dumps it back around. Glass couldn't reach it with the stick. To the near side, Gotch chops it to the point. Niskanen drives one wide of the net. Now Rob Scuderi with it, and he'll send it back down into the corner. Luke Shen there for the Flyers. He and his brother Braden Shen working the corner, and over to Simmons it goes, and Simmons is able to just ladle it, as Doc Emmerich would say, up into the Penguin zone.
Well, some good stuff on the changes already. Tanner Glass came on. Voracek came onto the ice for the Flyers, and Glass lowered his shoulder into him. Staggy starting to get it going here already.
Jokinen, Malkin, and Megna, the trio right now for the Penguins. So Megna playing with Malkin, not Simmons or Gibbons as we thought. Now here's Malkin dropping it off for Derek Engelland, and that pass intercepted by Hartnell, and moves it out to center. Jokinen tried to get it going towards the Flyers zone, but offside on the Flyers as they enter the Penguins' end. And I'll show you what happened to Chris Kunitz the other day. We knew that he was hurt. I mean, Ian Bilesman talked about it. hopeful that he'd be able to bounce back from it.
Yeah, he went hard into that goal post. You could see there as Green knocked him into that goal post, trying to drive that net in the Washington game. And, well, that looked real serious. Even Crosby said it kind of reminded me of the Stamkos situation. Kunitz practiced yesterday and out of the lineup today.
Where Steven Stamkos broke his leg colliding with the goal cage and is back now with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and miraculously, thank goodness, wasn't a real serious injury to Chris Kunitz. I don't think he'll be out a long time, but just unable to go here today. Simon Despres back to the puck in his own end. He sends it back behind the net, right to the stick of Michael Raffl, who threw it out in front, and the Penguins able to pick it off. Derek Engelland tried to get it out. The Flyers applying some pressure here. The Penguins having a little bit more difficulty getting out of their own end here to start the game. And the Flyers forecheck has been effective, and now Fleury freezes, and here we go.
Ronaldo, after the whistle, he just won't stop. Like a wild pit bull in there is Ronaldo. He just kept swatting away at the Penguins, and I think it's going to be a high stick against, is it a Penguin getting the penalty? It resulted in that. Simon Despres tried to protect his netminder. Fleury, he decided to freeze this puck. He could have easily played it. The puck came to his glove. Nobody was around. Take a look. This puck is dumped in. Fleury decided to freeze it. Whistle. I don't understand the penalty to one player, Simon Despres, who kept his stick up. Ronaldo came a long way to get into the face of Simon Despres, but the Flyers get the first power play.
Voracek with it on the right wing boards. Flyers are 0 for their last 8 on the power play. Timonin's shot misses the net. And Scuderi sends it up the near wall, but they've been successful. They have a power play goal in 5 straight games against the Penguins, and prior to this 0 for 8 stretch, they scored a power play goal in 11 of 13 games, so it's been a big reason why they've continued to win games under Craig Berube. Here's Timonin throwing it to the net and a crazy bounce. Fleury doing his best to maintain control of that puck. This has been coming to his equipment here to start the game. Our injury update brought to you by UPMC Sports Medicine. Of course, we know about James Neal, and now the addition of Kunitz, a late scratch today. It's amazing. The Penguins are without Dupuis, Kunitz, and Neal.
Up front.
Up front. Not to mention Paul Martin and Chris Letang on the back line.
That's incredible stuff, really. How about the long shots that the Flyers have tried to utilize here on Marc-Andre Fleury? A couple of long dumps into him on this kind of knuckling pucks to see if he's nervous or not.
Flyers set it up again with a man advantage. A minute 4 to go on the penalty to Simon Despres. Taken now by Voracek. Set up top to Timonin. Giroux, one-timer. Oh, he done that one over the head of Fleury and off the glass. It comes now to Voracek.
Watch Simmons in front, Staggy. Really good. You talked about those power play numbers. He's tough in front of that cage.
He certainly is, and he has the puck over to Giroux now. One-timer by Hart. And that one in and out. Hart will score. His first goal in 7 games. He had only 1 in his last 11, and he comes out here and scores against the Penguins with Despres in the box, a power play goal.
Well, that was a rocket of a shot. Absolutely incredible. From the half wall, Claude Giroux to Hartnell. It goes off Brooks Orpik and into the net. Take a look at this. Giroux sets it up. It goes off the stick of Brooks Orpik, high over the glove hand of the goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury. Dan Bilesman alluded to the fact that this power play of the Flyers is much like the Capitals. You just flip-flop it. So Backstrom on the one side, now Claude Giroux on the other. That was a rocket of a shot off the stick of Orpik to open the scoring.
The first goal big for the Flyers because they're 10 games under 500 when they don't score it. And of course the Penguins have thrived on scoring first. They're 1 game under 500 when they don't score the first goal.
Well, we talked about controlling your emotions. The first penalty goes to Simon Despres. Wasn't a big fan of the call, but the Flyers took advantage of it.
Now the shot by Reed hits Niskanen, comes out to Coburn. He risks it down towards the corner, but Niskanen picked it off. He tried to spring Crosby at center ice. And we get a whistle there at the Penguin blue line on an offside call, and Bobby Ronaldo did exactly what he likes to do. I mean, he went in there, drew the penalty, and did his job to a T for Craig Berube.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Sid. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of trial, try to mixing and matching of lines. Of course, after special teams, then your hand is kind of, you're kind of tied a little bit, Staggy, for Bilesma. That's where he's going to have to use different line combinations. Very tough in this hockey game to go with just straight lines. And you talked about the importance of the first goal by the Flyers, and the Penguins, without all their firepower with Kunitz and Neal, it's going to make it tougher to come back.
Dupree with a quick shot down low, and Mason makes the save. Penguins with 2 shots. The Flyers have registered 6. A lot of long ones on Marc-Andre Fleury, but a very good one from Scotty Hartnell. His 16th goal of the season, and on the power play, making it 1-0.
Modern Orpik coming on the ice here, so right away, the Flyers look, they're going to change a couple of their bodies. You know, Dan Bosma, if he can't get the forward line out against Claude Giroux, he's going to try to make sure that he gets Modern Orpik out there.
Malkin to the puck behind the Flyer net. Jokinen also out here. Magna causing problems in the goal crease, but the Flyers able to work at the center, and Voracek's pass for Giroux picked off by Ole Mata, and it comes back to Mark Streit.
We got a penalty
We
here.
got a penalty here in the neutral zone.
Pointing at Claude Giroux, and Claude Giroux's going nowhere near the penalty box right now. He's going to get called for a slash. He's going me. He's looking around like he cannot believe he got called. I don't know if this is a makeup call of sorts or not. I didn't get a good look at it. Craig Berube not happy. Claude Giroux looking up at the screen to see the big board to see where his penalty. Mata jumped up on the play, made a real good read on this play to the middle. And Claude Giroux took a little whack, hit him in the hip pocket. And that is not, come on. This is Philadelphia Flyer, Pittsburgh Penguin hockey.
I think you said it, Bob. You said a makeup call.
Yeah,
BMC Sports Medicine power play for the Penguins. Let's see if they can turn the tables on the Flyers and return the favor. It's taken by Crosby. Looks for Jokinen. Now out to Niskanen. Malkin's open near side. Niskanen instead drops it to Sid. Crosby in front for Jokinen. He steered it in. Just wide of the goal. Is it off Mason? Boy, good redirect there by Jokinen in the slot.
May have hit the bar in behind Mason. What a redirect. It was a good hard shot pass by Sidney Crosby, and Jokinen in place of Neal or Kunitz down in front.
Crosby with it. He tried to center. Taken by Reed. He rips it around, but a good play by Malkin to keep it alive. Crosby trying to kick it free, but it's going to be cleared by Coburn right into his own bench. Almost right at Bob Airy.
Pretty
Careful
dangerous,
down there,
pretty
Bob.
dangerous. I got Coachy in here, in beside me, so he's going to protect me, we would hope. There's that shot pass off Mason. Oh, and then he knocked it back with a big paddle. Looked like it was going to go in behind him, and he was able to steer it wide of the 4x6. It wasn't going to go in. It didn't work. Maybe it was. Boy, what a tremendous effort by Mason.
Niskanen off the draw to Malkin. To the high slot. Jokinen banks it to Malkin. Cross for Sid. Crosby has to go retrieve the puck with Coburn on him. Now Niskanen trying to feed it deep and dig out. Adam Hall with a step on Niskanen. He's not fast, and Niskanen just proved that by reaching around him and poking it off his stick. Good play by Matt Niskanen, and now the Penguins go the other way as Sutter goes down the right wing. Puck wandered away from him to the corner. Flyers try to clear. And a big hit on the near boards by Raffle on Jokinen. Jokinen gets back up. And the Flyers go back towards the Penguin zone. A 2-on-1 this time. Raffle to the right side. To Reed and back to Raffle. And a good play again by Ole Mata to break it up. And now Sutter over to take it. And Sutter sends it back around near side for Lee Stempniak with 29 seconds to go on the penalty to Claude Giroux. Into the middle now for Gibbons. Reed came in behind him and took it away and dumps it back into the Penguin zone.
Well, you get the sense the Flyers feel the Penguins are a wounded animal. They don't have their big guns on the ice. They're going to try to take advantage, but they had a chance to go up with the Hall breakaway. He was caught. Another, that 2-on-1 Staggy, and the Penguins denied those opportunities. Let's see if it comes back to haunt the Flyers.
Dupre's long shot was steered away by Mason.
Just hit a player on the bench here. All the Flyers are standing up. They're into the hockey game. They sense the wounded animal in the Penguins. They didn't get the second one on the board. Let's see if Pittsburgh can fire back. This is tough here. This is tough for Pittsburgh without some of their big guns. There's the hit into the turnbuckle as Simone Dupre goes in hard into that turnbuckle. Wow.
Fortunately, the turnbuckle not nearly as dangerous as it once was, Bob, right? It's a different configuration down there.
Yes, and where I am, they've cut the glass back about 18 inches where Pacioretty had his incident with Char. Look at this face-off. Out of the box came Giroux.
Giroux back, dropping it off. It's Andrew McDonald, the former Islander, shooting it wide of the net to the corner. Braden Shen there. Shen brings it up high. Man coming off the bench is Vincent Lecavalier, number 40. He goes to the front of the net as the puck comes to the point. Strike's shot goes right through the goal mouth wide. Held in by McDonald to the corner, and Lecavalier is there. He's checked by Marcel Gotch, who worked the puck back in behind the net to Rob Scuderi. And now Tanner Glass is leveled by Andrew McDonald as the puck came up the wall, and that's going to be a penalty.
Yeah, and it is. That was the first real penalty of this hockey game. The third one called, and the Penguins are going to go back on the power play. Control your emotions, Craig Berube said. And Pittsburgh will put their firepower onto the ice down by 1.
McDonald pinched a little too hard, Bob.
Well, he did. He's a left-handed defenseman, picked up at the trade deadline. Pinches down on Tanner Glass, hits him before the puck gets there into the lower back and knocks Glass down. So the Penguins go on the power play. This is huge. Penguins have to take advantage of these power play situations. As Crosby talks to Niskanen, explaining what he wants done.
They don't have Neal, who's usually in the high slot, and they don't have Kunitz, who's usually right in front of the net. So who's the net front presence on this particular power play? UPMC Sports Medicine power play. Crosby pulls it back to the point. Niskanen. Looks like Sutter's going to be that man in front of the net. Puck is cleared, though, by the Flyers.
Well, on the last Penguin power play, the Flyers had almost a breakaway by Hall that was caught, and then a 2-on-1 in which they gave up. So if they're not going to score, they better not give up anything.
Here's Crosby with it now, and he tried to move it to Malkin, and it's another turnover, and Reed has it now for Philadelphia, and he'll dump it into the Penguin zone. Jokinen goes back to get it. Couturier took it away from him. He has a man open. Reed, he scores. No. Yes. Is it a goal or not?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Puck's going in and out of that twine. The fans now can celebrate. Yes, it's a goal.
You know, this has got to be very annoying. As I mentioned, just don't give up a goal. Just because you don't have Kunitz and Neal, your power play can't be a negative. There's the dump in. There's the pressure. Jokinen lost that battle. The Penguins weren't able to collapse on Reed, and that shot looked like it came out faster than it went in over the blocker side. The referee right on it. The goal light did not go on. Clearly a goal. Absolutely underneath the bar. And it's 2-1 on a shorthanded goal. The Penguins still on the power play.
They've allowed a power play goal and a shorthanded goal. And here comes Stempniak into the Flyers zone. He was a little shell-shocked here to start the hockey game as Dupre takes it now. Limon Dupre to the corner, out of the reach of Pyatt. A long, long way to go in this hockey game.
You know, Steggy, when your power play loses the likes of Neal and Kunitz, the penalty killers for the other side, they kind of lose their respect a little bit. And that's what the Flyers, they're not respecting the Penguins power play right now. They're coming at the Penguins power play with aggression, with offense, and the Penguins have to find a way to deny 4 players. And when the Penguins power play is at its best, yes, it's got talent, but it's got hard work and hard work ethic. And they have to outwork the 4 men.
As we talked about that when we were on the road in Anaheim, about the hard work the Penguins have put in on their power play, how they don't let teams get the puck out. But the Flyers have managed to slip in behind the Penguins' point men here a few times. And Jokinen, of course, did not make a good play there going back for the puck. He allowed Couturier to take it away from him, and that led to the goal by Reed. Here's Malkin with it now to the left side. Here's Jokinen. He sets it up for Niskanen. His shot just missed the net. And Crosby takes it off the boards across to Malkin. Malkin sets it up now for Niskanen. Niskanen fakes the shot, looks for Crosby. 24 seconds to go on the penalty. Niskanen trying to keep it in again against Reed. And it comes to Coburn, and now he's going to spring Reed. Niskanen trying to take him over, and he drops it back, and Couturier couldn't get it. Crosby's got it, and the Penguins swarm the other way. But a turnover in the neutral zone by Sid. And skating to the puck is Brandon Sutter. A helter-skelter play here right now. Here's Sutter to the right wing corner. Moves it around now for Marcel Gotch. Penalty's over. Onto the ice comes McDonald, and now he's a defenseman leading the charge against Ole Mata.
Look out here.
And a drop pass here. And a quick shot taken by Giroux is stopped by Marc-Andre Fleury. Comes all the way to the near side. And Giroux with another good look at the net there, and Fleury made the save. And now Joe Vitalis pokes it up into the corner. He's hit hard by Grossman from behind. He ran him up high from behind. No penalty there. And here's Voracek back now for the Flyers. Looks for Hartnell. Mata is there as well. Voracek looks for the puck. Jakub Voracek. He's shouldered nicely into the boards by Orpik, who now gives him another shove, but behind the net it's Hartnell. He turns and banks it off the back of the goal cage. Voracek tried to play it. It's taken now by Marcel Gotch, who moves it to the left side to Wally Mata, and he will dump it into the Flyers zone. Enter Glass in on the forecheck. Goes down. Grossman's got the puck.
Yeah, Grossman hit Vitale very hard, but this is where you got to look to the depth of your hockey team to kind of get you back in, if you can, back into this game. Lots of time left.
Wayne Simmons tried to get it to the net. Squirts to the corner, and Braden Shen able to get there. He moves it out to the point. Coburn's shot, hit a leg. Stepniak springs Sidney Crosby. Coburn trying to catch him, and he does. But not without taking a penalty. Or was there a hook the other way?
Not exactly sure. Could be a hook on Crosby after he had the puck stripped.
You're right.
McDonald forced Crosby towards Grossman. Grossman's so big he reached right over top. I'll take you one question, Eddie. How do you turn this thing around right now?
Just to get our feet going. We're getting way too many turnovers. All our chances are coming from their blue line. They're a good transition team. We're giving the puck too much, so we got to be a little bit smarter.
All right, thank you.
Sidney Crosby's in the box. The Flyers with another opportunity on special teams here. Sutter looks for the puck in the circle. Out to the point it goes, and it's picked off by Sutter. Sutter trying to get to it now with the Flyers control.
One way you can turn this thing around, Steggy, that's score a shorthanded goal of your own. And I would really turn things for this Penguin hockey team, give them some belief. Let's see if the Penguins can turn it up here.
Voracek with it, though, dumps it back in around, and it's a bouncing puck up on the partition, and Hartnell sent it up the near side. Craig Adams jamming against Simmons, but the battle is won by the Flyers there, and now Giroux takes it. Giroux works it down low to Simmons. Out of the near side to Giroux. Up top now. Timonen with it. Voracek with that gun cocked. Timonen goes to Giroux. Back to Timonen. A shot deflected in on Fleury, and he's able to make the save. Voracek with it again. Up top to Timonen. Now the shot by Voracek hit the skates of Scuderi. Stays with the Flyers now. Back in behind the net, Hartnell. Now for Simmons in the corner. 53 seconds to go on the penalty to Sidney Crosby. Giroux goes cross ice for Voracek. Orpik got a stick on that. Jakub Voracek. Hartnell up top. Timonen. Voracek. Giroux. Band on it when he shanked the shot without the heel of his stick. Checking that stick to see if it's still in one piece, and it is. Timonen with it. He fires straight away, and it goes wide of the goal off the boards and comes right back to Giroux. 28 seconds to go on the penalty. Claude Giroux looks it over, goes down low. Simmons there. He pushed it wide of Fleury and wide of the goal.
Oh, Fleury got the left pad out. This power play's deadly.
Very good right now. Timonen shoots it. He was looking for a redirect from Hartnell in the slot. Now Simmons below the goal line sends it back up the near side and over to Timonen. Voracek wants the puck. They're not giving it to him. Giroux checked closely by Sutter. Sutter whacked him a little bit on the back of the pants. Giroux's got it. 2 seconds to go on the penalty. Voracek reaches for the puck, shoots it, and deflected wide to the end boards where Orpik whips it around. Crosby's back on the ice. Orpik again lets it go to the near side, but it's going to be controlled by the Flyers there. And Giroux's got the puck. He brings it up high, goes cross ice. Flyers making changes. Downey comes on and goes right to the net as Fleury freezes the puck.
Wow. 2-minute power play. Giroux, Sutter, having words right now. Simmons, he's tough. 10 power play goals, turns it to the forehand, just around the left hole. Marc-Andre Fleury. He is so good in front of the net. Here's Simmons. Look at how he creeps in. His stick just not long enough to get it around that pad. Kunitz has got 13 power play goals. He's second in the league. Ovechkin's first. That man, Simmons, has 10 power play goals for the Flyers. That power play was deadly, but the Penguins' penalty killing equally as impressive, and a big stop.
Penguins need the next goal in this game, and then it's a brand new hockey game. Got to get some life here, get something going. Here's Ole Mata with it. Killing that penalty won't hurt. Up the right wing, it comes to Stempniak. And it's driven to the corner by Gibbons. Back to get it is Coburn. Brian Gibbons dogging him as he leaves it in behind the net for Andy McDonald. Back up the near side where Derek Engelland will send it back into the corner. Now Crosby goes in there looking for the puck. But Coburn moves it ahead down to Couturier. And ahead to Downey. And Downey in over the Penguins line. Fires the puck off the stick of Ole Mata. He goes back, gets a stick on the puck, turns it ahead. And Gibbons headmans the puck to Stempniak. He's got Crosby alongside, trying to feed him the puck. The pass went in behind him. And Coburn takes it now. McDonald up the left wing. Couturier tipped it up into the Penguin zone, and Fleury stops it for Matt Niskanen. 5:52 to go in the first period. 10 shots for the Flyers, 4 for the Penguins. Collision there, and Niskanen able to come out of there with a puck. Comes to center and dumps it up towards the Flyer goal. Steve Mason decides he'd better cover it up. We'll be back in a moment. A good start for the Flyers. Still a long way to go. 2-0 Philadelphia.
2-0 Flyers here in the first period. Let's go back to Thursday, where the Penguins were busy with their annual Skates and Plates charity event. Over $300,000 was raised to benefit the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mario Lemieux Foundation, and the Western PA chapter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. I should let you know that Simone Dupre received the highest amount of tips, with Paul Martin finishing a close second, if I'm correct. But congrats to everyone involved. Over $300,000 raised. Awesome results. Guys.
Thank you, Danny. And the Flyers with the puck now as they move out of their own zone. Dumping it into the Penguin zone. Vincent Lecavalier playing on the left wing for the Philadelphia Flyers. Number 40, former Lightning player. Former captain of the Lightning. Now the puck back into the Penguin zone again, and Simone Dupre with it. Jokinen had a little trouble as he was checked by Shen, and Malkin takes over. Evgeny Malkin flying to center ice. Malkin knocks the strip to the puck. Ronaldo goes the other way. Zach Ronaldo with Raffle with him, turns, looks back, looks for the open man and finds one, and it's Adam Hall with a backhand shot. Hall goes behind the net, but the puck trickled to the glove of Marc-Andre Fleury, and he's able to freeze. Take a look at our Barrel Automotive leaders.
There they are. Claude Giroux picks up an assist on the Hartnell goal. He's got one more point than Crosby has since December 11th. What a terrible start for Claude Giroux. He had some wrist surgery in the offseason. The boy's back on top of his game.
He's got 21 points in his last 16 games.
May have cost his previous coach's job. That's how bad it was when Craig Berube took over October 7th.
Hall again shoots it, and it's blocked in front, and the Penguins able to clear it back to center. Luke Schenn will go back to get it. Ronaldo steers it into the Penguin zone. Rob Scuderi will lug it back now for the Penguins over to Matt Niskanen. Out on left wing, where it's going to be steered in by Marcel Gottsch. Mason set it up, and the Flyers quickly blow right out of their own zone as Coburn moved it on left wing to Couturier. Back to Coburn over the line. Coburn drops it off to Downey. His shot, and Fleury makes the save on Steve Downey. Hey, we'd like to welcome Blue Ridge subscribers from the Ephrata area. Thanks for watching and rooting on the Pens. All of us at Root Sports and the Penguins appreciate your viewing support.
This Flyers team has really been able to insulate Steve Mason. He hasn't been as good since the Olympics, Mason. You talked about that, Staggy. 880 save percentage and a 349 goals against, but the defense here in Philadelphia, they're solid. They are a very good defense, well-rounded, big players. They can bring physicality. They can bring some offense from the backside. I like what they've done. They add McDonald at the deadline. Straight comes back from some injuries. They are a very solid defense.
They're big, too, as Coburn. He's 6'5", 220. Grossman, 6'4", 230. So they got some size there to go along with some skill and a lot of experience. Some would say they're maybe a little too old, with Timonen being the elder statesman at 38. Now here's Coburn with it. He spins one out to center ice. And Brooks Orpik looks for Sidney Crosby and has to go back to get the puck. Sean Couturier had kind of an off year last year, but he's played much better this season. He's got 32 points. I think that 33, getting the assist on the shorthanded goals. Mason freezes the puck. So Couturier out here right now, number 14 for the Flyers, is a guy who will be more of a presence, I think, again, as he was against Malkin in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Toughness is the DNA of the Philadelphia Flyers, and just look at their staff, their GM and coaches. That's Ian LaPerriere there. Craig Berube used to compete in those tough guy competitions out in Calgary, Bob. There was no holds barred.
Yeah, you could just ask me about Berube. I was in a confrontation at the old Spectrum, and he came across and hit me with his fist, Steggy, and he cut me wide open.
Here's Evgeny Malkin in over the line. Malkin has stood up and the puck back to center ice.
Puck is bouncing out here, really bouncing.
Dupre with it right now. Dupre works it up the left wing, and Vitale steers it in. I wanted to see if you could kind of get a feel for how things are down there compared to what they're like in Pittsburgh when you're between the benches. Here's Malkin with it now. Malkin moves it out to the right point, and Derek Engelland and shoots it off the end boards. And over to play it is Voracek, and he's able to slip it past Dupre. Jokinen going back for the puck. He was hooked up there, no penalty called. He wanted one. Here's Hartman with a goal, and the puck wandered off his stick. Fleury went down and then had to lunge out with a stick to make sure the puck stayed out of the net. Now McDonald goes to the left wing.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of a battle there between blue lines. Jokinen coming back on Claude Giroux, and as they tangled each other up, Claude Giroux was able to knock down Jokinen, created a 2-on-1 for the Flyers.
Jokinen wanted a penalty, but nothing called. Now Sutter looks for the puck. Schenn threw it back into the middle. Marcel Gottsch takes it on the near wing for the Penguins. Gottsch, Sutter, and Glass. Here's Niskanen with a shot on a blocker save made by Mason. Sutter's stick was tied up by Luke Schenn. He couldn't get it free to get to the rebound. And Lecavalier moves it into the middle to Simmons. Simmons hit on the near side by Rob Scuderi. Scuderi moves it right wing to Sutter. 2 minutes to go in the period. Glass with a shot just out of the reach of the blocker of Mason. Big bounce for Lecavalier. The Penguins changing as Lecavalier looks for Schenn, trying to feed it through to him going to the net. It goes to the corner, and Ole Mata has it there. Quick outlet for Sutter, who's been out here a long time. He has to go off as Crosby comes to center ice. He looked to his left wing. There was nobody home. Sid turning it over at the Flyer line, and they come the other way, and Timonen dumps it into the Penguin zone. Brooks Orpik goes back to get it. Let it go. Raffle comes on. He has the puck. Tried to center for Downey, the bouncing puck. Crosby took off, couldn't take the puck with him. And now Lee Stempniak has it for the Penguins.
Well, the feel I get here is a desperate hockey team in the Flyers in the 8th hole. A wounded hockey team in the Penguins. More wounded than anybody in the National Hockey Game in the league. Over 400 man games lost. And this is tough right now.
Minutes 5 to go in the period. Stempniak drops it back. Scuderi to Niskanen. Niskanen gains the red line and dumps it into the Flyer zone. To the corner it goes. Hyatt knifing his way along the boards to get control of the puck behind the net. He's in there with Vitale. Niskanen pinched down. Covering for him is Adams. He tried to flip it to the net. It hit a leg. Flyers, boy, they're really sneaking people behind the defense. Giroux again was cheating up ice behind the defense there as he was looking for an outlet pass. Now it's sent rink wide by Streit. And Voracek works it behind the net. Hartnell will try to center. Goes right past Giroux. The pass was too hard, and Grossman goes back for the puck in his own zone with 23 seconds to go in the period.
And I'll look at it another way. I won't call it cheating. I will call it smart hockey plays because the Penguins aren't getting the puck deep. If they fan on pucks and plays, then these players, we saw Reed jump, we saw Giroux jump, they get right in behind the Penguin D.
Penguins have to work down low like they're doing right now, but the Flyers able to clear it past Engelland, and 1 second to go in the period. And a tough period for the Penguins. Down by 2 after 20 minutes of play. Coming up in the first intermission, presented by your neighborhood Ford store with Paul Alexander and Jay Caulfield. Matt Niskanen will talk about the first period with Dan Potash. Jay will tell us straight and highlights and analysis coming up.
One of the great landmarks in the Philadelphia area, the city of brotherly love. It's the Penguins and the Flyers. They're going to start period number 2 coming up. Penguins have a little work to do. They've done well in Philadelphia. They want that to continue. Stick around.
Well, that statue of Rocky, one of the great underdogs in the history of the movie business and also of Philadelphia, Bob, and the Penguins are kind of underdogs right now, down by 2 with a wounded bunch right now.
Yeah. So you got to use everybody. Your power play is going to have to score. That means you got to take a punch in the nose maybe as you go along. But to get that punch in the nose, you have to be aggressive. You have to initiate, and that's something the Penguins have to do here in the second period. They've always had a great response, tons of character, 11-2-1 in the last 14 here. Let's see what they got.
Today's face-offs are presented by the new face of Northwood Realty Services.
Crosby and Malkin are starting this second period on the ice together. Try to set the tone for the Penguins. Stempniak's on the left side, the left wing right now.
Would you say the Penguins need to simplify their game, Bob, here on the road against Philadelphia with the lineup that they have?
I just think they got to move their feet and be aggressive. I mean, we all know they're injured, but are they going to feel sorry for themselves? The Flyers aren't. Get your, start competing.
Derek Engelland sends it up the boards. Evgeny Malkin tried to move it into the middle, but the Flyers are going to shoot it right back into the Penguin zone. Crazy bounce right in front of the Penguin goal. Derek Engelland there. He sends it up the near wall. Stempniak let it go by for Coburn. Down the boards. Simmons battling on the near boards. And got Couturier, and now the puck taken by Derek Engelland over to Brooks Orpik. He'll drop it off to Evgeny Malkin. And Malkin swooping in now on the right wing on his off wing, or on his backhand, moves it back to Niskanen. His drive is stopped in front. Malkin quickly pounces on the rebound. Crosby tried to feed it to the goal. That was off the skate of Coburn. Crosby got knocked down. I think he's looking for a penalty and nothing called.
No, he really is.
He's yelling at the referee right now.
He wanted to knock Coburn down or give him a slash after he didn't get the call, but I think he decided against it. Yeah, he was looking for a call on Coburn in front.
Icing call this time against Philadelphia.
Penguins had something going there. They really did, because they had a net front presence. Stempniak went to the net, and Malkin was doing his dancing. And he found Crosby on the backside. The puck came over to Sid right here. And he was tripped up by the feet, the right skate of Coburn. Watch Coburn trip him. Right there. Good little trip, sneaky little trip, no call.
Coburn with the puck now, and he'll rip it around and out to center ice. Taken there by Scuderi. And away to Giroux, ahead now to Hartnell. Niskanen confronts him, and he's able to turn it out to center to Megna. Jason Megna slips into the right wing corner of the Philadelphia zone. Coburn. And Streit team up to get the puck out to center, and a 2-on-1 quickly develops. It's Giroux with it. Centers now. Voracek, a shot and a good save by Fleury on Jakub Voracek, and the Penguins clear to center. Another 2-on-1. Taken now by Scuderi.
A little sauce pass by Giroux. Soft little play for Voracek.
Now Mason stops it behind, and the Flyers will set it up from their own zone.
You know what? It'd be nice to see if somebody stepped into the path of Claude Giroux in this hockey game. He's been known to take a silly penalty.
Here's Simmons with a shot. Kind of cut into the front of the net area. Now the Penguins, Jotali is tripped. There will be a penalty against the Flyers this time. As the whistle here, and now a battle.
Yes, did you see Glass?
Yep.
He went in there. He did what he had to do. Hit to the whistle. And then he just kept his arms down as if he wanted to draw another penalty. Simmons has got the first one in front of the net. And this is the late one right here. I don't think there's anything called, but he definitely took a punch in the nose, did Glass. Here's the penalty. 17, Simmons on the ground. There's the trip. They got that one. You couldn't miss that one on Vitali as Simmons reached out with his skate. So they missed the first trip on Coburn. They got the second one. Niskanen pinches in this one occasion on the last shift, and it's hard to pinch against Claude Giroux's line. They're going to make you pay more times than not. Voracek, who's got 8 points in his last 4 games, denied there by Marc-Andre Fleury.
Big save.
Yeah,
really big save, especially if the Penguins score here on the power play. Crosby to take the draw against Adam Hall, and Sid won the draw back to Malkin. Now to Niskanen. Niskanen looked for Jokinen. He was looking for a redirect there. Now Crosby able to maintain possession, but he had it taken away by Adam Hall. And Hall, the former Penguin, shoots it into the Penguin zone and goes to the bench. Couturier out here now to kill the penalty for Philadelphia, along with Matt Reed, Timonen, and Coburn, the defense pair. As Niskanen finds Malkin right in the middle, and his shot wide of the goal. It's off the glass. Malkin's there. He threw it out in front quickly, but nobody was home.
Nobody home? No Neal. He's not home here this afternoon. Neither is Kunitz, a late scratch for the Penguins. That's 53 goals out of your lineup.
Niskanen sends it around in behind, and Mason let it go, and Coburn wrists it hard, but Malkin somehow kept that puck from going down the ice. Jokinen to Crosby. Now for Stempniak, he was going the wrong way, but Jokinen gets in there, steals the puck, shoots it, and it's off a stick of Coburn and up into the netting behind the Flyers' goal.
Well, Mason still looking for it. Good job there by Jokinen to turn the puck over. Mason, the new goaltender this year for the Flyers. And there it is. Stick on puck right over. Sutter, Pyatt, and Gibbons.
Penguins 0 for 2 so far with the UPMC Sports Medicine power play. 1:05 to go on this one. Desperately need a goal here to get some life and make the Flyers pay, because if they keep doing this, not scoring, that's going to make the Flyers even worse in terms of taking penalties. Here's Gibbons with it now on the far boards. In front of the net is Pyatt. Sutter let it go through. It comes all the way out to Dupre. And Dupre had it knocked off his stick, but over to cover for him is Sutter. Back to Dupre. Simon Dupre controlling the puck. Goes across the ice to Ole Mata. Mata feeds it along for Gibbons. Gibbons across to Sutter. Just couldn't take the pass cleanly. And Brandon Sutter all the way up the boards. The puck comes across in the middle. Fortunately, Hall couldn't get there, but now he will pick it up. Ole Mata getting back along with Dupre, and Hall drops it off. Following on now, Raffle to the goal, and Fleury poke checked him at the last second, and now Dupre has it. Malkin wanted the long lead pass. He couldn't take it cleanly. McDonald tried to clear, and it hit Malkin. Comes all the way back to Coburn, who turns and whips it the length of the ice. 11 seconds to go on the penalty. Malkin around Couturier. Malkin has Crosby going to the net. Looks for Stempniak instead, and he couldn't take that pass. And Simmons out of the box, feeds it into the middle. The Flyers have something going. Crisscrossing. Here's Couturier shooting, and he missed the net. Over to get it is Simmons, and he feeds it back into the corner for Couturier. On him is Scuderi, and they turn it over. Malkin able to work it back to neutral ice, where it's handled by Streit. Grossman's pass for Reed off his stick. Downey back checks to the puck. Scuderi steps up, but Reed steps in behind him against Orpik shooting, and that's off the stick of Orpik and off the glass. Over to the near side, where it's fed right back in behind the net by Streit. Orpik has it there to Scuderi. Rob Scuderi gains the red line, dumps it to the corner. In after it is Jason Megna. Mason sweeps it around, but right on the stick of Adams. Back to the net, and Tanner Glass was there trying to get a stick on it. Now Giroux threw it behind the net for Streit. Giroux took a bump in the far corner from Tanner Glass as the puck comes to center. Simon Dupre jostled on the near wall by Hartnell. And now it's taken by Derek Engelland, and Engelland swings all the way to the right as far as he could go. Before he ran out of room, he dumps it into the Flyer zone. Mason around for Dupre. Dupre shot, deflected in front, and a backhand try by Megna was blocked. Now Dupre with it, sends it back in behind the net. Megna tried to step out from below the goal line, but he's tripped up, and the Flyers have possession. Stepping up on Streit is Derek Engelland to try to force it right back into the Flyer zone.
Well, it has been in the Flyer zone for quite a bit of this period. They've picked up the pace here, has the Pittsburgh Penguins. They failed to score on that power play, but they haven't let that deter them.
But now the Flyers come back to center ice. Hartnell with it, across ice for Giroux. He shoots it, a kicked out, rebound, Voracek. Fleury with a great pad save on Voracek. He got his right leg down on him.
Yeah, all started with a dump in that hit the linesman. It came right back to the Flyers. They had a 3-on-2, and the Flower had to make another big save.
Now it's Jokinen applying pressure on the forecheck. Simmons with a one-touch pass to Giroux. Claude Giroux stripped to the puck from behind by Ole Mata. Orpik goes back behind the net to get it. Brooks Orpik moves it across. It's kind of quiet in this building right now, and the Penguins would love to get that next goal and momentum going, because they do seem to be playing like they deserve something for their effort. The puck in behind the net. Fleury there left it for Matt Niskanen. Niskanen on his horse, sends it up the wing, and Taylor Pyatt able to catch up with it. He's got Jokinen with him. Drops it off now. Sutter trying to control that bouncing puck. Turns in behind the net. Rubbed out by Timonen. Simmons decides to stick handle his way to center. Looks to the right wing to Vincent Lecavalier. Pulls up, throws it wide. Simmons over to get it. Timonen wants the puck now. He'll wrist it right off of Jokinen. And finding the puck for Jokinen was Sutter. He carries down the wing. Down around Coburn, his backhander. And Mason able to make the save and hold on to the puck. Here's the chance for Voracek. We thought Fleury got his right pad down, but maybe he did off the pad and off the post.
Still 2-0 Flyers, but the Penguins are starting to make some noise. By the way, Troy Loney, you may remember, helped the Penguins win a couple of Stanley Cups and is now hoping to do more of the same as far as winning is concerned with the Youngstown Phantoms. Troy and his wife joined the team's ownership group on Thursday and will oversee day-to-day business and hockey operations. You may remember that Troy's son Ty spent 2 seasons with the Phantoms and continues to help University of Denver out as the Phantoms continue to produce D1 talent, guys.
Congratulations to Troy Loney, Bobby's old teammate with those Cup champion teams in 91 and 92.
Yeah, it's good stuff for Troy. He knows the game and he'll do a great job there.
He also has to be a pretty good businessman, too, in his own right, so he can apply those skills as well. Here's Dupre with it now, moves it ahead. Stempniak for Malkin. Malkin stripped of the puck by Reed. Derek Engelland, good gap, prevented the Flyers from getting into momentum through the neutral zone, and now Dupre sends it to the near wall. Stempniak worked it inside the line, and Coburn, to his partner Timonen, back to Coburn. Malkin trying to take it away from him. Well, the Flyers dump it to the Penguins' zone, and Fleury sets it up for Simon Dupre. Back around now for Derek Engelland. Ahead to Malkin. Dupre to the red line, he shoots it in. Mason stopped it partially. Grossman back to play it around for Coburn. And the Flyers able to get back to center ice with it. It's Couturier into the Penguins zone, dumping it in behind the Penguins goal. Fleury there, up off the glass. Couturier did a good job to prevent him from clearing it. Now in the corner, it's Ronaldo. Out to the point. Mark Streit back for Zach Ronaldo. He shoots it, and it's off the stick of Sutter. Taken now by Olli Maatta. Downey took it away from him, and now Orpik leveled one of the Flyers on the end boards. It's Couturier getting up slowly. No penalty on the play. Fans want one as the puck comes to center. Couturier dragging himself back to the bench as Olli Maatta goes back for the puck in his own zone. See if there are any repercussions from that hit by Brooks Orpik. Lead pass off the stick of Jokinen up into the Flyers zone, and an icing call against Pittsburgh.
Well, something will come of it. Maybe not next shift, maybe not today. These two teams battle again tomorrow afternoon. And let's see if there's any response as Brooks Orpik with a shove to the back of Couturier goes head first into that the edge of the boards. It's a little neck massage.
Claude Giroux to take the faceoff against Sutter, who won the draw. And Olli Maatta banks it off the glass to neutral ice. Giroux steers it into the Penguin zone. Olli Maatta goes back to get it. Able to power his way around the corner, but then he lost the puck, and Voracek's got it. Back out for Giroux, a shot. Deflected away from the net and up into the netting. Face-off coming up to the left of Fleury. This is a great day for hockey. The Ides of March. Same day Caesar died, and also that the Penguins beat the Capitals 12-1. Wow.
It's supposed to be a deadline for settling debts. The Ides of March, Staggy. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to settle anything today.
I thought that was April 15th. 65 shots in that game, Bob, for the Penguins against the Capitals. Wow. Capitals. There's Sutter over to try to get it out. Capitals much better now, obviously. They were a horrible team for a while there when they first came into the league. Here's Luke Schenn shooting it. Blocked.
There's a
Tanner
penalty.
Glass got knocked down. Interfered with on the play. That will be a penalty.
What a terrible penalty by Ronaldo. He's shaking his head. I don't know if he's shaking his head because he realized he took a ridiculously dumb penalty or what. I mean, that was so obvious and clear. I can't believe it. Take a look at the block. There's the block by Glass. And then Glass tries to get his feet moving, and Ronaldo just steamrolls him. So remember the Brooks Orpik hit? There's the response by Ronaldo. A penalty to the Flyers. Now the Penguins have to respond with a goal.
Penguins power play is 0 for 3 with 2 shots at those 3 power play opportunities. Interference penalty to Ronaldo. And 9:40, a UPMC Sports Medicine power play for the Penguins. They're 4th of the game. Crosby back to Malkin. Sid to Jokinen. They play catch. Stempniak's in front of the net. Crosby has Niskanen sneaking in the back door. His shot and a save by Mason. Stempniak to Jokinen. And it's blocked in front and cleared.
Big save by the right pad on that second opportunity. Mason's got the glove on the right side. Niskanen tried to go up over the blocker. Not as much room there.
Here's Malkin with it now. Look at Malkin going backwards with the puck as he sets it up now. Jokinen goes to the front of the net. Here's Niskanen with a shot and a save by Mason, and Jokinen looked for the rebound, but Mason able to freeze it just in time.
A lot of good stuff there on that power play. Getting the puck to the middle of the ice, that is good. And getting two bodies as well. Take a look. Pass to Niskanen, tries to go blocker side, and then a second save by Mason. Same play. And Niskanen, so important on that Penguin power play. How many times does he get the shot on the net? Almost every time.
Boy, what a big goal would be for the Penguins if they could get one right here on the power play. 2-0 Philadelphia. Minute 24 to go on this penalty, and Coburn takes it off the faceoff, didn't get it out. Now Niskanen's got to be careful as Giroux tries to take it away. Malkin came over to cover up for his partner. And Evgeny Malkin with it now. Looks to the left wing to Sidney Crosby.
Claude Giroux drew a penalty.
Another penalty here. Is it Jokinen?
Yeah. You know, Claude Giroux is so smart. He could have drawn a penalty up by the benches here right in front of me because he gets his feet moving. He's such an intelligent hockey player. He knows how to read off people and knows how to the subtleties of the game. And when he came across, he put himself in a position where he was going to be interfered with, and then he tripped himself up against Jokinen. He just knows how to play the game, Staggy, you know, if you know what I'm saying. There's guys that know the game, know the situation, know the flow and the feel. And Claude Giroux is one of those guys. If you're playing against him, he'll drive you crazy. If he's part of your team, you like what he does.
Minute 10 remaining on the penalty to number 36 Ronaldo, and now number 36 Jokinen goes in the box for the Penguins. The strike moves it along for Giroux. The shot off the skate of Olimata. To the near side, Orpik gave it away to Voracek behind the net. Stays on him though. Bouncing puck up for grabs here, and Sutter able to stick handle his way to center ice, and he's got Gibbons flying down that right wing. Gibbons looks back, holds the puck. Gibbons trying to pull the trigger here, and it comes over now to Brooks Orpik. 4 on 4 as Orpik sent it down the wall. Gibbons was interfered with by Mark Streit. McDonald has the puck now for the Flyers, coming to center ice. Moves it right wing to Streit. They were teammates on Long Island. A shot by Giroux is blocked by Orpik. While Giroux takes it. Moves it right through the slot. Out to LeCavalier, a blast up high. Fleury tried to shrug it away, and it goes up and out of play. 26 more seconds on the Ronaldo penalty, and then the Flyers will have a power play.
Dan, you're down 2-0, but you've come out with a real purpose here in the second period. You like what your team's doing?
Well, I'd like us to get one on that power play there. We've drawn a couple, and they've got 2 special teams goals so far in the first, and we got to respond with a goalie. Our goal here is to win the second period.
Without Kunitz and Neal, have you been able to, and when you're down by 2 goals, do you still stick with that matchup you wanted, Sutter on Giroux?
We've switched the lines up a little bit here, trying to get a little more punch with the Crosby-Malkin combo. Hopefully that works out for us, but we really got to roll 4 lines here and go with a different combination than we started the game with.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
4 on 4 continues. Braden Schenn takes it. He lost it to Marcel Gotch. Stripped of the puck. Pocket picked by Vincent LeCavalier on his way to the bench. And the Penguins regain possession, and Matt Niskanen with it. Braden Schenn in on the forecheck as Niskanen just sends it down the ice. And now we have a power play situation for the Flyers. 46 seconds to go on the penalty to Jussi Jokinen. And a very important penalty killing sequence here for the Penguins. The linesman is hit with a puck, and we're talking to GMs in the meetings about maybe blowing the whistle when a linesman is hit with a puck. And then people were saying, well, players will just shoot the puck right at the linesman if they're trying to get a whistle. I can see that happening too.
Yeah,
Here's Streit now across the ice for Hartnell. He drops it off to Voracek, and it skips over his stick and out to center. 14 seconds remaining on the penalty. Jokinen getting ready to come out of the box, already standing up. Some more work to do here for the Penguins penalty killing unit though. 5 seconds to go. Flyers control it. This is Voracek shooting. Ricochets away from Fleury out to Tiemann in a blast. That's wide of the goal, and it comes off the corner board. Jokinen's got it. Jussi Jokinen drops it off to Craig Adams. Back to Jokinen. His shot off a stick. Adams went to the net looking for the puck. Jokinen got there, around for Malkin. And Evgeny Malkin turns away from Hartnell. Tried to stick handle between 2 Flyers. He was knocked down by Giroux. And Voracek moves it ahead to Giroux. He's hit on by Derek Engel, and he stood up hard on him there.
Really good hit by Claude Giroux on Malkin. He really lined him up and put him in a situation when Malkin had nowhere to go.
Now here's Dupre with it. Sends it back in and around for Pyatt. It comes all the way through to Malkin. And he's hit on the near side by Simmons. Following on was Pyatt, and it was off his stick and back to center ice. Now Malkin taking it and shooting it in. By the way, the Penguins are 16-5 in the 21 games without James Neal. Malkin trying to get used to that again here today. Looks like he's taking his right arm off of him. Here's Couturier down the wall. Mata hit him. Now Niskanen comes flying in there, but Couturier controls the puck. He's feeling better now. He closes in. Couturier center. Oh, Mata got there to poke it wide of the net just in time. Now it comes out the Raffles shot, stopped by Fleury. Rebound sent by Simmons all the way out to the point. Coburn shot. He broke his stick. Niskanen's got it. He sends it up the wall. And a hit by Raffle on the near boards as he was able to bump Joe Vitale. Now Vitale's heading over to the Penguins bench, and here's Braden Shen behind the D. He scores again. He lifted it upstairs, and the Flyers lead 3-0.
Off the bench. Looked like Lecavalier, was it not? Vinny Lecavalier
yes.
comes off the bench, 40. And there was going to be a penalty shot had he not put that puck into the net. A penalty as he is clearly into that lane, and he goes up over the right pad of Fleury. Fleury comes out with a poke check, but Lecavalier is so smart. He's got such range. He's a big player at 6'4", and he was able to turn the puck way outside. Fleury couldn't get the poke check there. And Lecavalier puts him up 3-0.
Vinny Lecavalier, number 40, Chen number 10. Lecavalier going to the net, and again that puck went in and out. That net is really strung tight. And Lecavalier really went top shelf. There's a shot by Shen, turning and firing his Downey, blocked by Dupre. Lecavalier with his 15th of the season.
It was really unfortunate, Staggy. The Penguins giving up that goal because Fleury had made numerous saves prior to that. Big saves.
Yes. Now it's 5.5 minutes remaining. Here's Lecavalier again, trying to get around Derek Engelland. Behind the net, Lecavalier settles it down with a glove. Centers in front for Downey. Taken away by Sidney Crosby. He comes to center with Stempniak. 2-on-2. Crosby shoots it long. Blocker save made by Mason. Stempniak over to play it. Tried to get it deep, and he kind of fanned on that. And now Hall will dump it up into the Penguin zone. Fleury stops it behind the net. Scuderi there for Gibbons. Gibbons comes to center, ran out of room as the Flyers just stood up on him, and now it's Scuderi over to Brooks Orpik.
Raffles really been physical in this hockey game for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yep. Pretty good player, Bob, playing a fourth-line center position. They'd say he's overqualified for that, but it's pretty good to have a player of his caliber playing on your fourth line.
Oh, I know. He's 10 minutes a game right now is all he's getting, but he's making the most of it.
There's a hit by Ronaldo over there, and he and Derek Engelland get tangled up. That could turn into something here before the night is over, or the day is over. The puck over to the near side, taken by Ole Mata. Mata backs up and banks it ahead. Steered into the Flyer zone. And controlled on the near wall, and there's Ronaldo knocking it out of midair, coming in against Derek Engelland. And he shoots it to the chest of Marc-Andre Fleury. So the Penguins fail to score in a power play, and then they allow the goal to Lecavalier, 3-0. Flyers 3, Penguins nothing. 4:17 to go in the second period. It's been a better period for the Penguins, but they haven't been able to muster a goal up, and they'll hope to do that tomorrow. If you look at our Nissan road ahead, the Penguins will play the Flyers again tomorrow at 12:30. That was originally scheduled for 7:30, and it's been moved up to 12:30. So don't forget that if you're planning on seeing the Penguins and Flyers go at it tomorrow at Consol Energy Center. Hopefully the Penguins will be able to get Chris Kunitz back in the lineup tomorrow. Bo Bennett has been practicing with the team and probably not too far away from returning. Though we don't expect to see him tomorrow. Here's Voracek. He runs into the linesman, and now Hartnell takes the puck. Whistle's blown here. The face-off coming up to the right of the Penguins net. Or are they going to bring it outside? They're going to bring it out over the blue line.
May have been a hand pass. It was a hand pass.
Okay.
There's only one way to stop the music. The Penguins had numerous opportunities on power plays to get back into the hockey game. either to tie it at 1 or make it 2-1. As the Flyers scored a shorthanded goal in this hockey game, Fleury made some 10-bell saves.
Voracek centers. Mata able to get it and dish it off to Marcel Goc. Goc, Glass, and Adams on the ice for the Penguins. McDonald tried to clear, gets it out to center ice. Goc handles the puck now and loses control of it. And Voracek down the left wing. Lots of Penguins are back. He's able to find Schenn, though, and he fired it off the blocker of Fleury. Giroux over to play it. Orpik hits him hard. Tries to pin him against the boards as he comes off the wall. The Flyers continue to control. One of the Flyers went down, no penalty. McDonald shoots it wide of the goal. Near side, Luke Schenn. Adams jostles him. Giroux takes it. Hartnell's open in the slot. Had to turn it to his backhand to take the pass. And Olli Mata leads the charge back for the Penguins. He wants to go to the bench, though, and he dumps it into the Flyers' end. Over for now, Luke Schenn. And Luke Schenn lugs it back to center ice. Moves it into the middle to Claude Giroux. Giroux surrounded by Penguin jerseys, but finds Steve Downey, who dumps it behind the net for Scotty Hartnell. He opened the scoring in this game. A power play goal. Now it's Stempniak coming to center, crisscrossing with Malkin. He finds Dupre. Dupre shoots it. Mason, big rebound. Stempniak gets to the loose puck, trying to get it to Crosby. Now looks for Malkin. Malkin out to Engelland. Eric Engelland back for Malkin, but reading the play. Couturier always hovering around, keeping an eye on Evgeny Malkin. This is Reed with the puck, pulling up, coming to the front of the net, shooting it. And the puck shrugged up into the netting by Marc-Andre Fleury on the shot by Matt Reed.
And once again, the Penguins don't get the puck deep at the offensive blue line. And the Flyers come the other way on that Lecuyer steal. Matt Reed with a big chance. Watch the move. He gets Engelland moving into the corner, down on one knee, stops on a dime, brings that puck back to the forehand where he makes another save.
By the way, the goal by Lecavalier scored as he got in behind the defense, his 15th, and Claude Giroux and Grossman getting the assists on the goal. 3-0 Flyers. They have 26 shots on net to 16 for the Penguins. Penguins have 9 here in the period. Flyers with 14. This is Simmons with a puck now. He is hit by Matt Niskanen. Joe Vitale trying to get it free, and he does. He got it to center to Taylor Pyatt, who dumps it behind the defense. Grossman trying to get in on the puck. Comes near side where it's taken by Rob Scuderi back into the corner. Joe Vitale protects the puck on the near side. Leaning on him is Streit. Now Taylor Pyatt steps in. He works that kickboard, trying to bring it to the front of the net. He centers, but right to Wayne Simmons. Turning with it now is Schenn, and he dumps it in behind the net. Lecavalier wants to get after it. Sutter there protecting the puck. Niskanen jammed at it. It comes to the point, though, and Luke Schenn holds it. Schenn with a wrist shot. Blocker save, Fleury. Streit moves up now, trying to cut to the front of the net. Left it there, and a backhand chance. Stopped by Fleury. Luke Schenn went in there looking for the rebound. Boy, Ronaldo had a good opportunity. He's all tangled up with Scuderi now as the puck goes back into the Flyers zone. Ronaldo gets himself onside. And the Flyers back on the attack as McDonald dumps it in behind the goal to Fleury. Fleury quickly jumped out to play that puck, and that enables the Penguins to quickly go back to center ice, and it's Megna dumping it into the right wing corner. McDonald back to get it. Gibbons in on the forecheck. Man.
Ronaldo, he just keeps coming. He's like a freight train, and he'd rather get a hit than score a goal. So you better look out when he's on the ice. He was the man that took out Tanner Glass earlier.
He missed the last game. He's happy to get back into the lineup here today against the Penguins. Kind of a nemesis.
You got to remember, whatever you do for the rest of this hockey game, Staggy, remember, you're playing the Flyers again tomorrow. So what do you want to extract out of the rest of this game? Yeah, you can still win the hockey game, but look at it.
Here's Dupre with it, shooting, and a good save by Mason. It's probably the best scoring chance the Penguins have had. Dupre has gone a long time since he scored his last goal, 49 games. This is his 25th game of the season. He hasn't scored yet.
Yeah, and you know, part of what you'd want to get in this hockey game is you'd want to get one by Mason, who may get the nod again tomorrow. It could be Ray Emery, who's nursed himself back. Marc-Andre Fleury has played well. Will he play tomorrow afternoon as Ronaldo backs into the net and in top of Marc-Andre Fleury? You know, can you get your licks on Claude Giroux before tomorrow's game? That might be a good thing if you're a Penguin.
Icing going to be called here. On an all-new Inside Penguins hockey, Matt Niskanen is mic'd up for practice. Marc-Andre Fleury breaks down one of his best saves ever, and much more. It's an all-new Inside Penguins hockey presented by Heritage Valley Health System. It actually debuts today, right after postgame on Root Sports.
This is the 8th start of Loligout, 2-1, 3-1.
Couturier to Giroux, cross-ice score. Matt Reed finished it off, 4-0 Philadelphia.
Well, it starts at the Flyers zone. They're able to chip the puck past Brooks Orpik, who's pinching. Tic-tac-toe, and it's in the net. And this is the kind of stuff that happened in the playoffs against Marc-Andre Fleury. And I don't care who's in the net. You could have 8 goalies in the net. They're not going to stop that. 3-on-1 against the Penguins netminder, who gave his team a chance at the start of the second period to get back into it.
Fleury is 5-8-1 in his last 16 games against the Flyers, but he's 8-2-1 in his last 12 against them here, and that's why I think Dan Bilesma went against the trend of playing Zatkoff on the road in back-to-backs and Fleury in the next game. There's a shot from the point by Orpik, steered away by Mason. And we thought that maybe Zatkoff would play tomorrow. We just don't know. You might see Fleury come out here after the second period.
Yes, you might.
And then Zatkoff play the third, and then Fleury back in the net tomorrow.
Yeah, you could see any number of those combinations as the Penguins are searching for combinations in the absence of not only James Neal with a concussion issue. Kunitz is out of the lineup. They came out in the second period. They just couldn't get one on the board.
So let's go to Paul and Jay back in Pittsburgh.
In case you're just joining us, Philadelphia 4, Pittsburgh nothing. Here's what you missed, presented by your Western Pennsylvania Honda dealers.
He's tough in front of that cage.
He certainly is, and he has the puck over to Giroux now. What timer by Hart? And that went in and out. Couturier took it away from him. He has a man open. Reed, he scores. Latale's heading over to the Penguins bench, and here's Braden Shen behind the D. He scores again. He lifted it upstairs, and the Flyers lead 3-0. Couturier to Giroux, cross-ice score. Fleury is still in the net, Bob.
And why not? He's played well. I mean, Dan could have went anyway. I think maybe he's going to try to see what Fleury and his hockey team can do. Obviously, not Fleury's fault. They're down 4-0. And will he decide to go with Zatkoff tomorrow? Probably predetermined that he probably will play Jeff Zatkoff in the second of the home-to-home. You know, the Penguins, this is their 8th back-to-back of the season. The previous 7, they're 12-1-1. Absolutely incredible numbers for those back-to-back situations.
And it certainly helps to have solid goaltending, because if you have to rely on your backup a lot to be able to help you in those situations. And Zatkoff has done a great job. He's been really good on the road. His record is 10-3-1. We'll see if he plays at home tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Penguins will just like to get on the board here early in the third period, get something going.
Glass and Simmons going at it in that face-off. And they're still going at it.
Braden Shen backhands one right into the Penguin bench. Flyers started the season 1-7. Greg Berube was named coach on October 7th. He started 1-4.
He just looked, Greg Berube just yelled at Simmons and said, I don't want you fighting right now. Glass and Simmons were going at it. They were talking, and they're still going to go at it. But Craig Berube looked at Simmons, caught his attention, and said, no, not now.
Here's Gotch with it, sends it back around. Well, Craig Berube certainly knows when to and when not to.
And yes, and I agree with Craig Berube. Why would you want to give the Penguins any reason to, or something to hang their hat on?
Dupre to Engelland. He risks one. No, that one just deflected wide of the net. Now Dupre moves up. Tried a little one-touch pass to Gotch. Shen got in the way of that, and it's steered into the Flyers bench this time.
Well, on the positive side, Brooks Orpik, after 2 periods, has 5 hits and 7 block shots for Pittsburgh. Simone Dupre has 5 shots on net in just over 9 minutes of action for Pittsburgh. On the negative side, Crosby missing those line mates. He's a -3 after 2 periods of play. Playing with Gibbons and Stempniak on this shift.
Of course, you get a minus when you allow a shorthanded goal, too. Matt Reed now takes the puck in his own zone and carries out. He's got 2 goals today, numbers 17 and 18. Puck steered into the Penguin zone. Here's Reed working the corner now for Philadelphia. And will be carried ahead now by Lee Stempniak. He's got Gibbons with him, but can't make the play at the blue line. And Reed back checks. Crosby one-touch pass, but offside called on the Penguins. Well, you talked about those back-to-backs, Bobby, and you look, the Penguins have 9 games in the next 14 days, including this one. So it's a very busy schedule coming up, and you would figure Jeff Zatkoff's going to get more opportunities to play during that stretch.
And that's why you don't want to force a guy like Kunitz into the lineup when you're playing 2 games in less than 24 hours, really. And, you know, if he's not healthy, why rush him into something this afternoon? It's just a busy schedule. These guys all got to be healthy come playoff time. Now's not the time. They built a cushion early in the season.
Yeah, the Flyers desperately trying to stay in the playoff hunt. They're tied with the Detroit Red Wings with a game in hand for the last playoff spot. So they're officially in the 8th spot right now. And the Penguins are 1 point behind the Bruins coming into action today for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. Brooks Orpik with it. Malkin. Olimata. Penguins methodically bring it ahead, and then Jokinen, I don't know, is trying to feed it through for Megna. Either way, Megna gets to the puck on the near wall and sends it behind. Mason lifts it up into the netting. Get ready for the Pirates' new season by reliving the best games from last season. Pirates playback continues as the Pirates clinch their first trip to the postseason in over 20 years after beating the Cubs on September 23rd. You can relive the unforgettable game and celebration on Pirates Playback 2013. That's tomorrow at 7 on Root Sports. Pirates play the Yankees at McKechnie Field at 12:30 on Monday, by the way. We're right here on Root Sports. Mark Streit on the ice now for Philadelphia.
I like the Penguins' line configurations a little better to start this third period. People are in positions, not in their backhands. You got Stempniak back on right wing with Gibbons and Crosby. Then you got Megna playing on the right wing. He's a right shot with Jokinen a left shot. Playing the left side. Makes a little more sense to me. A little more comfortability for the players. And let's see what the Penguins come over the board with now.
Here's Simon Desprez trying to get to center ice, and Zach Rinaldo just pushed him right backwards as he was able to make the lead pass, and now it's dumped right back into the Penguin zone by Michael Raffl. Desprez shuffles it along for Derek Engelland. Up the wall it comes. McDonald tried to keep it in. Adams clogs it up on the near side, and then it's chopped back to center by Joe Vitale. Ahead to Adam Hall. He's bumped by Engelland, and Adams drops it off to Vitale into the Flyer zone. Vitale trying to work it in front, but Luke Schenn right there to break it up. Raffl goes rink wide for Adam Hall. Back to get it goes Matt Niskanen. Niskanen leads the puck up to center ice to Marcel Gottsch, who drops it off to Rob Scuderi. Gottsch gives ground a little bit here. Pressured by LeCavalier, and he goes to Scuderi, who dumps it to the Flyers zone. Streit goes back to get it. Tanner Glass takes him to the wall. Sutter follows on. Streit tried to headman the puck. Sutter wouldn't let him do that. Now Gottsch in there as well. Sutter continues to work along the boards. Simmons there as well. Glass leans on him. Sutter pries it free. Taken by the Penguins, though. Here's Scuderi with a wrist shot deflected. It never got to the goal. Well, it was good work by Sutter to eventually get possession of the puck, but the Penguins couldn't get the shot to the net. Now Scuderi back to his own zone for the puck. One hands it up the near boards where it's sent right back into the corner by Simmons. Niskanen takes a bump to move the puck to Scuderi. And out to center it comes. Puck out of play now as Jeff Zatkoff makes a save over there on the bench. As a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. When we talked about the difficulty of the Penguins schedule, Bob, how about the Flyers? They're trying to make the playoffs. They got to play Chicago, the Blues twice, LA, Boston, and the Penguins 3 times. So they're doing well on the Penguin part of it so far today, but they have a tough road to hoe to get into the playoffs.
what is it? The first 12 of those are against teams ahead of them in the standings, are they not?
Yeah, and all those ones I just named,
Yeah.
teams in the top 5 are just really tough.
Well, they're getting better, and they're a healthy hockey club right now, getting healthier every day.
Back to the puck goes Brooks Orpik in his own zone. Stempniak. Downey took it away. Couturier looks for it. His shot. Fleury the save. Rebound Reed looking for the hat trick. And a good save by Fleury on Matt Reed. Steve Downey to the corner. One hands it in front. Taken there by Lee Stempniak. And here comes Lee Stempniak. Double deuce. Grossman Coburn takes him out. He centered it, but the Flyers read it and picked it off. And there's Reed again, having a strong game today as he dumps it back into the Penguin zone.
Malkin, no shots on net in this hockey game, and Crosby with just one.
Malkin steers the puck to the goal. Mason fumbled it, and it bounced off the top of the net.
Does that count as a shot on net? He redirected it from center. Had it went in net on in the net, it would have been a shot on net. I don't know if they're going to credit Malkin with one there or not. That was unbelievable. Well, that was as close as the Penguins have come. Jokinen had a chance where Mason knocked one out of the air with his stick paddle earlier in this hockey game.
Voracek to the puck. Voracek trying to work it to the high slot. Drops it back. Grossman slaps it wide of the net. Now Jokinen over to get it. Voracek moved it back though to Streit. He makes a nifty pass rink wide for Grossman. And Grossman passed the puck to Giroux, who was hit by Derek Engelland, and now Voracek in the corner for Giroux, and back for Voracek behind the goal. Now for Hartnell. Engelland broke that pass up. And it's Jussi Jokinen for Pittsburgh, dumping it into the Flyers zone. Very quiet in this building as the Flyers have a commanding lead in the game, 4-0 with 13:43 remaining in the third period. The Flyers scored .350 in on a power play by Scotty Hartnell, and they haven't looked back. Raffle works it inside the Penguin zone, and Rob Scuderi with Raffle pressuring, turned it up ahead, and the Flyers keep it in, and Raffle's got it now. He tries to center, Pyatt over, Scuderi battling and make sure they don't get the puck into the middle here, but and finally it is Pyatt who kicked it ahead to Craig Adams. Vitale rushing in after the puck. Adams was hit in front of the Flyer bench as the puck comes to the corner. Taylor Pyatt stripped of the puck by Raffle. Good work by Raffle as the Flyers are able to quickly come right back to center ice. It'll be dumped in by Adam Hall. Ronaldo goes in after it. Fleury plays it to the corner. Ronaldo ends up with a puck.
Pyatt came to the bench. He got clipped in between the eyes. He's got a little blood on him.
Bobby, we thought the game was going to be much more competitive, and I was going to be really interested to hear what it was like down there in this building compared to what it's like in Pittsburgh. And just, it just hasn't been that heated, has it? Have you heard much going on down there? Or?
There's been no verbal confrontations. Normally there is between these two hockey clubs. But right in front of the bench, Tanner Glass now. Downey yapping at Glass. Giroux smiling. And Simmons as he comes by. So really for the first time and right on cue, Staggy. We are getting some verbal confrontation as Tanner Glass got knocked down at being clipped by a high stick of Coburn. Well, Mason hasn't been getting a ton of work. And this was a redirect off a hard pass by Engelland. Malkin, the one bouncer, and this puck may indeed be going in if he doesn't knock it backwards onto the top of the net with his glove hand. So he stuck with it, did Mason?
Steve Mason has 3 shutouts this year. The Penguins don't want a fourth here. They want to get a goal behind him if they can. Sidney Crosby has it now on the power play. A UPMC Sports Medicine power play with Shen in the box for high sticking, but another giveaway by Malkin this time to Giroux. Giroux stops up and shoots it and was blocked by Matt Niskanen. Jokinen leaves it for Matt Niskanen to the right side, and Evgeny Malkin cuts into the middle. Pass for Crosby went right between his legs to Jokinen, who drops it off to Stempniak. We're back for Jokinen. Now Niskanen has to hurry to keep it in. Reed watching him. Niskanen protects the puck. Malkin comes over. Reed takes it away. Stempniak's got to hustle to make sure it's 2-on-2 as he comes back, and he's able to fend off the penalty killer Reed, who's killing the penalty with Couturier. These two have been really good today. The right wing pass from Malkin off his right skate. And he goes in and backhands it around to the far side for Stempniak. Crosby there for Lee Stempniak. And up top now to Niskanen. Now to Malkin. Niskanen takes it again. Left side for Crosby. He fires, and it's wide of the goal off the glass. Now Jokinen behind the net for Sid. Crosby looks for Niskanen. Had to reach for that pass, but able to get it. Leaves it for Sid. Crosby watched by Couturier. Throws it to the net. Stepniak tried to turn it to the forehand. Just couldn't pull it off. Back to the near side and Malkin. To Niskanen. 33 seconds on the penalty. Malkin fires, and it's blocked by Timonen, and it ricochets back to neutral ice.
Timonen a block on one side on Malkin. On the other side, Coburn on Sidney Crosby. Staying in the lane of the shot, the Flyers defenseman.
Flyers have been much better on the road on special teams than they have at home this year, but you wouldn't know it by watching them today. They've been good. Here's Mata now. Luke Schenn takes it, leaves it there, and it's going to be banked away by Raffl the length of the ice. And that kills it. Penguins are now 0 for 5 on the power play with 5 shots, and there's one by Brandon Sutter after the power play that's stopped by Mason. And the score remains 4-0.
Now Claude Giroux, we talked in the open, he's got his game back on. He and Crosby tied in points since December 11. Coming into the hockey game, Claude Giroux picks up an assist on the Hartnell power play goal, and then a big hit on Evgeny Malkin, and another assist on the 3-on-1 to make it 4-0 Philadelphia in the last minute of the second period. And Claude Giroux, are they talking about him as MVP again, Steggy?
Some people are. Well, hey, there's precedent. I mean, Alexander Ovechkin was horrible for the first half of last year. He ended up winning the Hart Trophy. So it can happen. There's a shot by Derek Engelland that rings off the iron, and Wayne Simmons picks it up and takes off with it to center ice. Engelland tried to poke it away from him and ends up behind the net. Dupre rubbed out behind the goal by Schenn. Simmons follows on. Works it up top to Grossman. Cross ice, one-timer strike. Kicked out to the corner by Fleury, and now Sutter hit by LeCavalier. LeCavalier and Schenn on the ice together as Derek Engelland takes it behind. Moves it up for Gibbons, and he turns and quickly able to knock it back up into the Flyers zone. 9:48 to go in the third period. Penguins with 20 shots on goal. Halfway through the third period. Flyers with 33. Sidney Crosby drives it in. Schenn sent it up the wall for Adam Hall. They have to go back the other way with it now. Schenn behind the net, pressured by Megna. Tanner Glass hits Schenn. And out in the middle it comes to Ronaldo. Dishes it off to Raffl. Can't get around Mata. Following on now with the puck is McDonald. To wrist it back around to the right wing corner, and Raffl goes in after it for Philadelphia. Orpik takes him to the boards. Flyers keeping it in. McDonald again. The man up top, it's Ronaldo turning and firing it wide of the goal. Schenn over to play it. He and Glass converge again. Now Raffl with it to Schenn. Backhanders stopped by Fleury and cleared by Orpik. Now finally Tanner Glass will get the puck and move it back out to center ice.
Yeah, and a good play by Gotch again, and I was kind of honed in on him that shift. Watching him play center, Steggy, his natural position. Boy, he looks solid. He's fleet of footing, much more comfortable, certainly there, than playing right wing.
Megna now trying to dump it in. Of course, Megna, he's a guy who can play different positions. He looks pretty good on the right wing. And that's where he'll be with Evgeny Malkin, you would think, until Neal comes back. Here's Voracek into the Penguin zone. He shoots it. Blocked by Scuderi. Voracek controls it. He guns it wide of the goal. Over to the far side. Taken by Coburn. And his pass for Voracek sends him out to neutral ice.
Yeah, and if you just joined us, no Kunitz, no Neal. Here this afternoon for the Penguins. Martin Letang, of course, and just keeps going and going. Pascal Dupuis out for the remainder of the season. That's tough. Those are all elite hockey players. You got a penalty. It's 4-0 here in Philadelphia. The Penguins are going to have to kill a Flyer power play coming up. Derek Engelland almost broke that shutout. Just a little wrist shot. Now Vitale in the penalty box for a slash on the hand of Claude Giroux. Not much of one. You'd like to get your money's worth if you're going to get the two. As Giroux dumps it into Marc-Andre Fleury, and a Flyer power play. Reed's on the ice looking for his third. Adams broken stick.
There's that stick being swept aside, and there's going to be a whistle here and an offside here, so they'll drop it in neutral zone. By the way, congratulations to Dan McCoy and the U.S. Paralympic sled hockey team. They just won the gold medal in Sochi, taking the gold medal against Russia. And that is a gratifying news and also extremely impressive. Dan McCoy, we've featured him on our shows on Root Sports, on Inside Penguins Hockey, and also Danny Potash has talked about him on our telecasts. He's one of the members of that team. He hasn't played a lot over there, but he's there and he's celebrating a gold medal right now. Marcel Gottsch jams it back into the Flyers zone. 7:30 remaining in the third period. We're down to a minute and a half remaining on this slashing penalty to Joe Vitale. Art Streit dumps it into the Penguin zone. Marcel Gottsch goes back to get it, sends it back around for Brooks Orpik. Couldn't get a stick on it to get control and get it out, so the Flyers continue to possess the puck. On the near side is Schenn. Man open right in front of the net is Lecavalier, but he couldn't take the pass cleanly. Still, though, he's able to work it out to the point. Now he takes a pass. Wrists it down low. Schenn there. Reed in the high slot. Andy McDonald on the left side, sneaking in that back door. Now he gets the puck from Streit. McDonald shoots it to the net. Fleury the save. The rebound. Gottsch slaps it off the boards. Back into the Flyers zone. 52 seconds to go on the penalty.
Drew directing traffic. He put his hand up to stop, and then he said go. And
Penguins 11-2-1 in their last 14 games in this building. Down 4-0 right now to the Flyers. Just trying to get a goal. Here comes Sutter now into the Flyers zone. Sutter trying to go around Timonen and can't do it. Still has the puck though with 27 seconds remaining on the penalty. Now the Flyers go on the attack with a man advantage. On the left side it's Streit. Sends it back around to the right wing corner where Wayne Simmons will take it. For Hartnell, he let it go behind the net for Claude Giroux. Just hustling over to take it away from him is Simon Despres. Just like a bull. He just came through there and made sure he got the puck all the way down the ice. 5 seconds to go on the penalty. Vitale standing. And out of the box he comes. 5:53 to go in the third. Fleury stops the puck and leaves it there for Olli Maatta. Craig Adams takes the pass in the middle off his skate. Taken now by Grossman. Not one player or coach on this Penguin team will make an excuse and say that, we have injuries. You won't hear it. You just won't hear it from anybody. This Penguin team has more than 100 man games lost to injury than the next team, the Detroit Red Wings. There's a bump by Niskanen at center ice on Raffl. And at some point, it's going to catch him. Crosby. Now, Crosby looking for the puck. He has stick on it out to Engelland. A shot at a save by Mason, and Jokinen went there looking for the rebound, but Mason has it frozen. So Steve Mason continues to shut the door. The Penguins continue to try to just at least get one on the board here. Give them a little life going to that next game tomorrow. It's 4-0 Philadelphia.
well, it's that time. Time for a Subway sandwich of the game. Tanner and Glass, he's involved again. Here he is, he and Schenn for a Subway sandwich of the game. And
there's Luke Schenn, the former Philadelphia Flyer, traded for James Van Riemsdyk, the Leafs. Out to the point it comes to Despres. Now to Taylor Pyatt, whose shot is blocked. Timonen blocking it, moving it ahead to Ronaldo, who throws it rink wide for Raffl. Engelland tried to line him up. He slips that check. Raffl stick handles his way towards the net, throws it in front, and it never got to the front of the net. Fortunately, the Penguins converging in front of Marc-Andre Fleury to defend the goal. And this is Malkin with it now, backhanding it rink wide. Over to get it is Schenn. Banks it off the boards right to Pyatt. Pyatt threw it back towards the net, never got there, but now Malkin throws it in front. Schenn tried to clear. Adam Hall will attempt the same thing, and he gets it down the ice. Back to get it, Matt Niskanen over to Derek Engelland. 4:23 to go in the third. Engelland to center, and he drives it in. Lecavalier with a nifty play to work it to center ice, and Simmons, who is checked closely by Jokinen. Good skating here for Rob Scuderi to wheel it around to the near side for Sutter. And Sutter banks it ahead on the right wing to Joe Vitale. Bounces it towards the Flyer net where it'll be frozen by goaltender Mason. As we promised, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Marc-Andre Fleury. Fleury making a big save on Voracek. Right there in that second period to keep his hockey team in the game, only down by a couple at that point. Save, a little help from the goalpost, and he stayed in here for the third. They've insulated him a lot better here in this third period of play. As have the Flyers. They blocked a lot of shots here in this third period, the defense in particular. Whoa, Crosby almost scoring off the face-off.
Good save by Mason with a left pad.
Wow.
Mata over to Orpik. To Crosby. And Gibbons couldn't stay onside, and the whistle blows.
Well, you never know. Crosby, probably deception involved with that, looking around, trying to set up a face-off, talking to players behind him and to the side of him, and then Sidney Crosby, bang! Talk about timing, and Mason had to make a great save on that particular face-off. Hall was the centerman, and now we got Glass and Downey yapping at each other. Just yap, yap, yap. Downey never stops talking. I mean, you need Cotton Batten if you're going to play against him. And now they're going to take him off the ice. Even they had enough of him. Berube said, "Sit down," and Hall's out on the right wing. He's still talking.
Grossman with it now.
I can't understand what he's saying, but
Grossman with a shot. Fleury the save. Orpik to the rebound behind the net. And up the wall it comes for Tanner Glass. Back behind for Brooks Orpik. Now for Ole Mata. Mata, the left shot on the right side, has to use the boards a lot to get the puck out. Doesn't want to pass that puck into the middle. Now taken by Brooks Orpik. And Orpik will drive it into the Flyer zone. 3:11 to go. Glass to Megna. One-timer partially blocked by Raffle. And now Megna can't find the puck as it comes out to center. Taken there by Ole Mata. And ahead now to Gotch. Gotch shoots it down low. Save made by Mason. He didn't have the puck totally frozen. Glass was in there looking for the rebound, but he had the glove near the puck long enough to draw the whistle.
well, the Penguins on an opportunity. Mason making another save as Glass goes to the net. But in a way the Penguins are going to have to find offense tomorrow afternoon against the Flyers. With the rash of injuries they have up front, is bring your D. Have your D get involved in some of these rushes. The forwards have to make plays down low. The defense have to jump up. And the Penguins have that ability. They're fourth in D scoring. Guys like Mata, guys like Niskanen, guys like Simone Dupre. I'm not talking about 5 shots from the point. I'm talking about joining rushes to make 3-on-3s, 4-on-3s, to make 2-on-2s, 3-on-2s. Something the Penguins will have to think about tomorrow afternoon.
Gibbons with it. Le Cavalier sneaks in there. 12:30 start tomorrow. Not 7:30, 12:30 at Saul Energy Center. On NBC, we won't have that game for you, but NBC will have it. Here's Gibbons trying to walk in front. Rolled off his stick on the backhand.
And you know what keeps defensemen at home sometimes, Staggy, is those Flyers early were trying to jump in behind the Penguins. So that kind of keeps you on your heels a little bit if you're the Penguins defenseman. Oh boy, there's a big hit. Ronaldo again. Malkin now engaging with Ronaldo. You want somebody else doing it, not Gino, but that's fine. Keep your head up when Ronaldo's on the ice.
Here comes Coburn, and he saw Malkin coming after him. He wasn't able to really line him up. So Ronaldo's on the ice, and he doesn't stop being Ronaldo just because there's only a couple of minutes to go in the game and his team's up 4-0. In fact, if anything, he's going to be even more of an agitator. Yeah,
it's going to give you an idea of what's, if you thought that it was going to be any easier to come tomorrow or even now, you just got to be prepared to keep your head up at all times.
He's a guy who likes to rub your nose in it. Now here's Downey, and that's kind of a Flyer tradition as well. Here's Grossman now. Grossman comes to center and dumps it into the Penguin zone. This day began with the unveiling of a Fred Shero statue. And I tell you, a very good-looking statue as well. Ray Shero was on hand for that. Now Rob Scuderi dishes it off to Niskanen. They dump it up into the Flyer zone. The fans come to life a little bit here as they are sniffing a shutout. Minute remaining in the game as the puck is driven into the Penguin zone. Back to get it goes Simone Dupre. Joe Vitale works it along now for Rob Scuderi. Now to Dupre. Let's hope to get on the board with one here before the end of this final 35 seconds. But right now the Flyers controlling the puck, and they dump it back into the Penguin zone. Fleury sets it up for Olimata. People standing right now for this Flyer team. Big game here today for Philadelphia. They're trying to measure themselves to sort of give them the confidence that they can win these games down the stretch against teams in the top 5. They got a lot of them coming up, including another one tomorrow against the Penguins.
Well, they won the battle today. They won the special teams battle. They had a power play goal, a shorthanded goal, and they've shut out the Penguins to this point. So there you go.
4th shutout of the year for Mason, the 23rd of his career. He's our McDonald's player of the game as the Philadelphia Flyers beat the Penguins today 4-0. It's an interesting number on the board. 4-0, 40 shots, and of course number 40, Vincent Lecavalier, scored the 3rd goal for the Flyers. And Mason stopping all 25 Penguin shots on goal.
I got nothing else to add, Staggy, other than the Penguins got to come ready and prepared to play another hockey game, well, in about 15 hours.
Let's go to Paul and Jay back in Pittsburgh.